Hi there YouTube, Musical Aviator here. It's been a while since we flew a small aircraft like this on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, but we're doing it today. We're going to log into Vatsim and make our way from here in Elliston up to Wuddina. Hey, wait a second, we spelt that wrong. It's a double N and a single D. Yeah. Wuddina. After that we head off to Streaky Bay and possibly to Cessna if we have enough time. Just going to be a little second to get my flight plan on the screen, which I totally forgot to do. So there we go. Cool. So it'll be 83 minutes according to the current weather forecast. And we're going to be using about 20 something litres of fuel. It's going to grab at least 45. It should be fine. Either JB and Infinite Flight. Yeah, feel free to join us. I'm going to go ahead and actually log in, which I've also gotten to do. And Andrew, thanks for that. Nice, easy flight and a good stream. I just realized I also need to. Cool, that's ready to go. There we go. So that's there. We are VHBSV. We're a performance category A aircraft. We have GPS on this one. It's a G1000. We're going VFR, not IFR. We're going from we're heading out of, sorry, YELN. Heading eventually to Cessna. CDU. And via Wuddina, WD. And YKBY. Which is both Streaky Bay and Carcultaby at the same time. And Cessna. Cool. We're going to be doing about 110 knots, going to be climbing to about 2,000 feet, maybe 2,500. That's submitted. Off we go. Of course, let's jump in on to Vatsim. All the Vatsim servers are the same server, so it doesn't matter which server you're on. And yeah, out of Elliston. And if you can't get on to Elliston fast enough, Wuddina's the next one, which you can see there in our little directions. Anyhow, let's have a look at the aircraft. Hi, that's James Wilson. Well, I assume all the tie downs and stuff have been taken off. Master switch is on. Flaps coming down. There we are. Master switch is off. And the walk around. Not that they can really do one on this simulator, but you know, one of these days we might be able to get A2A simulations releasing something here, but so they haven't yet. We're a year into having this simulator, year and a bit. Cool. You do some fuel drains, check on the top, making sure that there's enough fuel on there. There is. Oil right about there. Check the flaps are good. Climb up top there. There's a static port right about there, and a pitot probe right here. Just check under there, making sure they're attached well. Let's assume that the walk around has been done. We're all good to go. Let's move. So, flight plan. Coming out of Elliston. And from Elliston we're on a heading of 030, slightly east. That's magnetic heading, 030. What's the actual... Oh yeah, that's right. That's fine. So here's the route as it looks like on SkyVector. And yeah, they're doing an update tomorrow apparently, or the next day. Depends. Time zones, everything. Anyway, we take off. We're heading slightly east of northeast, I guess you'd say, up to Wuddina. From there we head mostly west over to Streaky Bay and over the top of Carcoltaby, which is about there, which we have actually marked here, Carcoltaby. Between Carcoltaby and Streaky Bay is Maryvale. We'll then land at Streaky Bay, and from Streaky Bay head up to Eba, Anchorage, Haslam, Smoky Bay and Laura Bay before we hit Cessna. All up about 83 minutes of flying time. That doesn't include anything on the ground. So let's get moving so we can get over to Cessna as fast as we can. Hi there, Aaron. Hope you're well. Okay, looking around the aircraft, there's nobody in front of us. I'm going to turn on beacon, the navs, fuel pump. A little bit of panel lights because we've got quite a bit of cloud cover today. Most of that's sitting at about 4,000. Clear the prop. Thousand RPM. There we have it. And we can turn off that fuel pump for now. Hello, Paul Newman. Hope you're well. Alright, I'm not sure we even need GPS at this stage, but we have this wonderful G1000 sitting here, so why not? Let's go direct to. Looking for the letter Y. Is it WUD, quite simply? WUD it is. Wuddina. There it is. Cool, that's easy. Big magenta line. Yes, I'm hearing Australia's getting a world update, and I think they announced that it's going to be released on essentially Australia Day, which is perfect. I mean, could you even come up with a better time frame for that? Sounds brilliant. I'm hoping they get some good photogrammetry. I also hope they get us some nice terrain mesh, because a lot of the areas are quite flat and they shouldn't be. Cabin towers in. Standby instrument and lighting is on. Cool. And let's have a look at what we're doing with our aircraft today. So sitting at Elliston, the CTAF is 126.7. That's set. And we should also monitor the old 122.8. That's set in, and we should chuck that in COM 2. Alrighty. Ball really wants Melbourne. Yeah, we need Melbourne as well. Sydney's pretty well covered with the Orbix stuff, but you know. Let's have a listen to the AWIS. I think we've got the Wuddina. Does anybody that we know live around? I heard someone was either used to live in Wuddina or did work around Wuddina. Not a place I've visited yet, but I hope to one day. I have a long-term vague plan to do a road trip with a friend of mine, at least as far as Whyalla. And I might extend that a little bit further, if I can myself. Anyway, Wuddina.
Automated Weather Information Service, Wuddina Airport. Time 0808 Zulu. Wind 340 degrees magnetic at 5 knots. Temperature 18. Dew 0.16. QNH 1011 hectopascals. Rainfall last 10 minutes nil. Automated Weather Information Service, Wuddina Airport. Time 0808 Zulu. Wind 340 degrees magnetic at 5 knots. Temperature 18. Dew 0.16. QNH 1.
Alrighty, temperature is 18 degrees. Wind is mostly from the north. So we taxi out to runway 36, taking off straight out. After departure, we need a heading of 030. Push that over here on the heading. Cool. And QNH 1011. Let's have a broadcast on the CSAF 1267. Once we get over there to the holding points, gonna turn this up a bit. Altitude should be about 2005. Actually, we're going eastwards, so maybe 1005 is enough. Cool. Let's move up. Parking brake is released, and we'll want some taxi lights. Leave the strobes off for now. We'll be facing northbound, so I'm just going to come out here. There's nobody over there, so we can face pretty much the runway direction while we do our run-ups. From here. Brakes are on. Looking for 1,600 to 800. Let's do it 1,800. 18 and a bit. Let it stay. There we go, 1810. Mags check, over to the left. We have a full 100 drop. It's a bit much, really. It should drop by about 50, maybe 75. But that's how it is here on Microsoft Flight Sim's default aircraft. And idle is 640, which is plenty fine. Back up to 1,000. Let's lean it out a little. Get the flaps up. Trim setting is good, and our heading is shown a 048. The compass itself is shown 0, I call 45, 50, somewhere in that range. So that's looking good. Okay, controls. Controls free. And we'll make a broadcast and head on out. Elliston traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor is the Cessna 172SP entering runway 36, straight out departure. It would be cool if we could do an entire checklist on this screen over here. Unfortunately, we cannot. So, we do have a lean system there. That's nice. Cool. We'll leave that there. Okay. So, another thing I want is the wind.
Traffic. Tango Foxtrot Victor, Cessna 172 will be taxiing at and holding short runway 36. Elliston traffic.
We definitely don't want to be on standard Barrow. How do we get that? Zero transponders in Alt, VFR. There we go, 1011. Elliston traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor entering runway 36, straight out departure. Infinite Flight's got a PDF of Cessna 172 checklists. That's alright. I'm sure I've got some somewhere. Flaps are all up. Landing lights are in, and let's go. And I'll continue that climb up to 72.
Tango Foxtrot. Tango Victor Foxtrot, rolling runway 36. Elliston traffic.
Turning away from what looks like rain over there. And let's bring up our heading 030. Yeah, that PMG 737 is going to be both sweet and expensive as heck. We all know it. We're all going to buy it. That's fine. And it's a, 737. We can fly Qantas. We can fly Virgin Australia. Every airline and his dog is flying 737s. So between the 73 and the A320, we'll be pretty well set for all the medium. Basically, all your domestic requirements will be done. Time is 18. We go for 28. And we'll start looking for our location at Kokata. which I believe is the Koketta Forest, or the old property called Koketta. Little bit of low cloud floating around, so I think we're going to have to start doing some dodgy stuff. In this case, literally dodging clouds. The weather up at Wuddina didn't have a cloud base reported, so I expected that to be more than 5,000 feet, but here we are at 1,500, and we've got something in front of us that's definitely got cloud. Potentially a rain shower over there, all the way down to touching the ground. There's no verdure. Did we change the time? Yeah, we did. So it's 2 in the afternoon. .2400 RPM, that's where we want to be. Going to pick up the leaning. EGT still increasing. There we go, we're just slightly leaner peak now. Back up to that 1490. Back down. Not 15. 95. There it is. Cool. We'll leave it there.
Yep, Elliston traffic, Tango Foxtrot Victor, will be levelling off at 3,000 feet. Elliston traffic.
Yeah, at the moment the weather does lag quite badly, and I think it's generally worse than it really is in the real world. Because the Wuddina, which is only, what, 30 miles away, it's given us weather with 5,000 feet clouds, and yeah, that's not a thing right now. I'm keen to come back on track, so I'll go through that little gap there. Hi there, Paul. If I have to pay any money for the Reno races, then I will not be getting it. And if I don't have to pay any money, then maybe. Unless it comes with something really interesting that I want, which is unlikely. Because I am more likely to want things from Australia. Funny that, living in Australia. They are charging for it. In that case, I'm probably not getting it. Oh well. Unless there's some compelling Vatsim reason for me to get it, I won't be getting it. Reported lightning at Sejuna. Nice. Great weather for VFR flying. I'm glad we have all the G1000 stuff. I'm not convinced about this stuff in front of us either. That's right, PMDG 737, Orbix Melbourne, plus whatever update they come on the 26th of January. Default. Yeah, I'll be into that. And with any luck, they give us some nice mountainous things to do before we hit, you know, all the mountains that we need to fly over on this journey. This is still a few months off. We have, what's coming up? After this flight, we've got the Bunda Cliffs on the edge of the Great Australian Bight. They looked a bit funky last time I was there, and obviously we're going to be through there before the update comes, so I'll just have to deal with that. Might do a revisit when we come back through Western Australian side. Time is 24. We have diverted somewhat. Gonna try and punch through this rain shower. Back to our heading. Not much in the way of visibility at the moment. We can see the ground, but yeah. But we're on a heading. I can see the road that we're meant to be following on the wrong side of it. TVF, nobody knows. It's Vatsim. Anyone's allowed in. Hopefully no silly shenanigans happen, but you know, it's Vatsim. Silly shenanigans sometimes happen. There's no anti-ice on the Cessna 172. All we have is that. That's the pitot. We're picking up some water. What's the temperature? It's 18 on the ground. We're only 1,000 feet higher, so it's probably only about 14. Keep an eye out on the front of our struts to make sure there's no ice picking up. But at the moment, we're just getting wet. A little bit of light shower. Yeah, Cessna 172 is not certified for known flight into icing, and it doesn't have any real de-ice equipment on it, other than, you know, the pitot. So it'll keep this ice free, but as far as the wings are concerned, no. We should be up to a slightly darker patchy forest coming up, and I think that's it there. According to my flight plan, we should be there in 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But we did divert somewhat in, so we might have picked up an extra minute. Hi there, Infinite. I like the Aerosoft A330. It's not quite as good as the FS Labs A320, but for an A330, it's the best one out there. It's better than the 717. It's just below PMDG. I think you go PMDG is the top level, then you have the Aerosoft A330 below that for long haulers. I don't know what's underneath that for long haulers. Maybe some of these FS 2020 offerings like the Salty mod, which are way down there. I think Aerosoft A330 is one small step above the old PMDG MD11 as far as systems fidelity is concerned. It's pretty much on that level. Yeah, but the name of the aeroplane is an Airbus A330, not an A330. It's a name of an aeroplane. It's like my name is Trent and Airbus's A330 is A330. Otherwise, the people on the news media would say Qantas's Airbus A380. Well, no, they don't say that, do they? Because that would be silly. Why is the PMDG $100? I don't know. It's one of those things, you know. The market will pay it, so they'll charge it. If no one was buying it at $100, they'd probably have to drop the price. But they know they can ask that price, and people will buy it. Yeah, they do use the old 3 for the runways. I find it really annoying because it actually makes it sound even closer to the number 2. 2, 3. And on a bad VHF connection, 3 and T sound the same. If I was designing ICAO, I would have made the number 3 have 2 syllables, tha-re, as against number 2's single syllable. Tu, tari. But we don't live in that world. We live in this world. And in this world it's the tree. We have passed into this location. It is 29er. So 6 minutes on, we should be 10 miles out. We'll call it 35. After that, it'll be 40. After that, we'll be on the ground at Wuddina. And that was a massive flight upset. I'm assuming it was just moved into a different layer of winds or something. We gained like 20 knots and then jumped up 200 feet. Or we could call that a massive updraft. So, bump. We need to check out our next location, which is CSAF 126.7, which it's already set. We'll be entering for runway 32. We'll pop into the dead side and then fly the entire circuit. Time 32. Ah, good, the old airdrop virus. Brilliant. Gotta love that. The old computer troll. Okay, the ground at Wuddina is 310 feet. Our circuit height is 1,300. We'll be looking to enter the dead side at 1,800, so we can actually climb. That's fine. Good to see the weather here is a little bit better than it was in Elliston. I have a funny feeling the coastline is worse than the inland at this time of day. Time is 33. 1,800. We'll sit about there. Weather's not the greatest. Just looking in the direction that we'll be going to after we land here at Wuddina. And yeah, I think we're getting more showers out that way. Straight ahead out kind of to the north is okay. Oh, it's easier to detect scammers these days. They call you the end. They're a scammer. That's pretty much how it goes. Have they called you on the telephone? Yes, then they are a scammer, unless they're literally a person you know. Wuddina traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, it's a Cessna 172, is at 2,000 feet. We'll be joining a circuit runway 34 at time 40. Traffic order. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. I'll be going out to play in a field with some friends of mine. We're going LARPing. One of my friends will be LARPing for the first time, so I'm going to be LARPing with the newbie group, and apparently a film crew will be there, possibly in relation to one of Channel 10's something or other. No idea what that's about, but if I end up on the TV, I'll let you guys know. I hope I don't end up on the TV, to be honest. There's 1800, that's where I want to be, 2400 RPM. We'll sit on that for a bit. Altimeter 1011. Yeah, now that we have freedom and can go outside and visit a park with nearly 500 people. Let's do that. Seven miles out, 2 minutes, maybe 3. Heading 240, so again 340. Just about there, cool. I believe that might be the runway. Yeah, the masks are going to be annoying, especially running around the field all day with the mask over the nose. That's our town. Should be at the airfield in about 2 minutes. Infinite flight, the reason you got X-Plane is usually because you wanted to get something that X-Plane has. Such as, I don't know, that A340. If I had X-Plane, I'll get that A340. I don't have X-Plane, so I won't be. I'd like the A340, but not that much. Eyes peeled for the runway. Runway in sight. Now we're 200 feet too low. Wuddina traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, Cessna 172 is at 1,800 feet. We'll be crossing the runway to join the dead side and then join downwind at runway 34. Traffic Wuddina. Okay, we're on the dead side of the pattern. Pop it in. Down we go. I believe that's the air highway right next to it. No one's departing. We're all the way into the crosswind. None of this midfield stuff. Hi there, Paul. Auckland from Flight Beam. Yeah, I will. Unfortunately, we don't have it in the lineup for Cross the Ditch this year, which is a very massive pity. Nobody was thinking about that when they designed that flying. Wuddina traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor is on crosswind, runway 34. And let's go in. Wind is mostly from the north. That's right, we might need to hit that Auckland event. The New Zealanders sometimes put on their own little fly-in that isn't the big one. I think it's like Christchurch to Auckland every Sunday. So I might drop into that one of these days. Well, traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor is downwind, runway 34. Saitek yoke? I'm not sure, but it's a pretty cheap yoke, so I'm sure someone still wants to buy it. There's a few kicking around still. They're certainly not the highest quality, but they are pretty cheap, so you know. Sometimes people want to get cheap stuff. Let's make our base. Couple more seconds. Here we are. Brakes, undercarriage mixer. Fuel is set. Mixer is fully wrenched. Seats and harnesses are secure. Looking for 80 knots. There we go. A little bit of flap. Wuddina traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, turning final, runway 34. And there's the rest of the flap. We'll go for 65 knots. A little bit of trim. No aircraft on the runway. Looks like a reasonable town, wouldn't it? Got a good airport. They have a coffee shop? I'm sure they do. Wuddina traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, Cessna 172 is turning to backtrack, runway 34. Magpie on the runway. The funny thing about birds is when they see an aircraft, they don't fly across the runway, they fly directly down the runway. 90% of the time. The other thing that they do is if they're on the left side of the runway, they will take off and fly directly across the path of the aircraft until they end up on the right side. Or the opposite. If they're on the right side of the runway, they'll flop over the center line of the runway to get away. It's a thing I see to happen all the time. Birds be silly. Wuddina traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor has vacated runway 34. Not sure about this very large building, but I'm sure they've got some kind of facility over there. Usually they have like a toilet in the building, a couple of waiting rooms, briefing rooms for the flying school. Assuming they have one of those. Bird fight. Yes, that time of year. Birds get up in each other's territory. It's like, hey, that's mine. Okay, we'll stop here for a little bit to reset our systems, get that flaps up. Taxi light is on, landing light is off. For 1000 RPM, so we don't flood the engine. Gonna lean it out a little bit as well, just so we don't foul any magnetos. And we are off to Carcoltaby and Shark, what's it? Streaky Bay. Streaky Bay. Cool, so after departure it should be a heading of 262. That's sorted. I think we'll get rid of our direct to. Actually, don't do that at all. Cool. We'll just leave that as it is. I don't want to use the GPS for this leg as much. Let's see if we can go to OBS and push the course around. There we go. 262, that makes things a little easier. After takeoff, we'll be heading out for 14 minutes. Let's make our way out. Wuddina traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, it's Cessna 172. We are taxiing out to runway 34. Just come up to the hold short point. Make a stop here for a bit. We have a request from Infinite Flight that we might chuck in. There we go. All these lights coming on. Wuddina traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor is entering runway 34, straight out departure. Time is 53. That'll be 54 by the time we get out. Runway 32. And off we go. Quick and quiet little stop into Wuddina. Off to Streaky Bay we go. .175. There's 500 feet. And off we go. There's our heading, 262. And we'll call clear of Wuddina in a second. Wuddina traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor is climbing through 1,200 feet on climb 2,500, track East Streaky Bay. And hemisphere rule would suggest 2,500, but hemisphere rule doesn't apply below 3,000 feet AGL. So, yikes, that was a bit of turbulence. Looking to grab 80 knots. Yeah, that weather needs a bit of work. We're getting kind of like hard wind shear. As you pass through the wind shear level, bang, you get the new wind. Which is fine if it's not very windy, but on a day like today where it's blasting along at 18-30 knots, yeah. Look at that heading again, 262. Are there infinite? Not tonight. Next week at some point we'll be flying the helicopter up to the motel, the what's it, the Nullarbor Hotel, in the chopper, the Robinson R44. It's just a thing I've planned myself because I want to do some chopper flight around the Bunda Cliffs. Besides, it's already going to be a 2-hour long stream. I don't want to be sticking around here till 10. 9 PM is my limit tonight. After that, I'm going to start getting grouchy. Keep drifting off that heading. Let's get back to it. Shared cockpit? Who knows? I'm always annoying at trying to organise those, but I can probably do one offline at some point. As in not streaming it, just fly it. World flight P3D? Yeah, probably not so much. And next world flight, I'm not entirely sure I'll be doing a crew, but if I can get one, and it isn't cancelled like the last time, then yeah, I'll do that. In which case I'll be sitting in a place that isn't my house, possibly in a different state. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah, world flight plans are just not a thing at the moment. Medio, hello, how you doing? Yep, good to be back. VFR, he said as he starts flying into a line of showers. Coming up on Carcultaby, which should be that little thing about there. It should be 38, sorry, didn't write that down. Slinging that mixture out. That's peak, and I'll just go 10 below. Said 10, not 15. There we are. 10, not 5. That is peak again. That's it. Into the showers we go. Now that was Lake Yanani, which means we're overhead a locality known as 100 of Yanani. And the next little location, once we hit a little bit of forested land, which we probably can't quite see in that mist up ahead, is the 100 of Carcultaby. Beyond that is the 100 of Collie, 100 of Inkster, and Mount Cooper, which is right in the middle between Collie and Inkster. Then after the 100 of Inkster is Maryvale, and then we're in Streaky Bay. We lost 500 feet. Let's get that back. Get that heading back again. This is Port Kenny Road. that we're following along. Hello Nat Dave, hope you're well. I'm half tempted to stay here at 2000 because that stuff is looking pretty thick. We've got to think about some faster aircraft in about 2 to 3 weeks' time, because we'll be heading inland after well, after this really. This flight, the next one after that is hitting the Bunda Cliffs and Great Australian Bight at the Nullarbor Hotel, and then we'll be heading inland quite significantly. Jacinth Mine site, Anna Creek, and Lake Eyre. So probably want to fly something a bit quicker than a 172. Maybe the Cirrus SR-22. That might work. Time is 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 3 minutes until I think we're at Carculteby. That's a reasonably large intersection of 5 different roads. You reckon the Caravan? Alright, cool. That's a turboprop, but sure. We'll probably do that for the flight out of Anna Creek, sorry, into over the top of Lake Eyre. Bring some extra tourists. Don't think that's that one. Okay. Back into the muck, so I'm going to turn on the anti-ice on the pitot. Just checking what is the temperature. Where's the temperature on this aircraft? Well, it was 8, there it is. 15 Celsius, that's fine. Well, there goes Port Kenny Road off to Port Kenny, out that way. And we keep trucking along, heading down to Streaky Bay. Into this horrible, horrible muck. Gonna drop a little bit of altitude here. I'm not sure about the regional airports, but I'm hoping we get a good bump map and a little bit more photogenic scenery. So yeah, it'll be good to see what we get. Maybe an Albury or a Canberra. Sejuna's getting wind shear. It's not what I want to hear. We're definitely at Carculteby now. That's 8 minutes past. Yes. 8, 9, 10 is 40, 50. 50 to Maryvale and 55 to Streaky Bay. Heavy rain and lightning. So we might actually end this stream at Streaky Bay if we get in. It's not looking too crash hot over there, is it? This whole coastline is soaked. In fact, returning to Wuddina might be on our plan. So if we can't get into Streaky Bay for this rain shower, we may well head back to Wuddina. Let's listen to that AWS. Just keep an eye on altitude there and the heading.
Automated Weather Information Service, Sajuna Airport, time 0908 Zulu, wind 120 degrees magnetic at 5 knots, visibility 20 kilometers, present weather, light showers of rain, cloud clear below 10,000 feet, temperature 17, dew point 14, QNH 1011 hectopascals, rainfall last 10 minutes nil. Automated Weather Information Service, Sajuna Airport, time 0908 Zulu, wind 120 degrees magnetic at 5 knots, visibility 20 kilometers, present weather.
It's not as bad as I imagined it, so we press on. Good work, Nat Dave. Yeah, with any luck we get some improved airports on the way as well. So it's 38, no, it's 08, sorry. I have my brain 30 minutes out of sync somehow. 08 20 25. Cool, so we're only about 9 minutes away from Maryvale. 25's half an hour to landing at Streaky. I can still see some ground. Yep, that's definitely VFR. I can totally see that. Don't have a horizon to speak of, but you know. Looks a little lighter over there. I think we're drifting a little bit to the left a bit too much. Track should be 276. Plans for the weekend? Yeah, that's the thing about being post-world flight. It's kind of like, I don't really want to be sitting inside anymore. So yeah, I do have plans, but we'll see how they go. Sunday might come up. And I'm doing night shifts again next week, so I guess we can do a VFR event at midnight on Monday. at 9 in the morning. Yeah, the night shifts are a little bit annoying. I'll give you that. There's some perks to them, but not many. Can we still see? Not really. Definitely head on down. Minimum descent altitude here is 1,300. Still 5 minutes from Maryvale. Lots of rain rushing past our window here. So apparently there's some COVID restrictions that have been relaxed even more. What are they? Gonna pop it on the news. No more caps. So that 500 cap in the park that we had is gone tonight. Nice. No masks. Though you do need to have masks in retail situations still. That's alright. Hopefully they relax them with masks for our LARPing game tomorrow. Because we're in a park outside, so... That said, we do have to come within, you know, sword hitting distance. There's some land, 2 minutes out from Maryvale. Going to sit at 1,500 for now. Altimeter is wrong. Yeah, that got moved. Need to move that over to 1011. Here it is. Cool, 1,500, that's where I want to be. Just trim that back. 1 minute. Yeah, they're infinite. Cool. Pop into Streaky Bay and we'll head on up to Wuddina. At quite low altitudes, following the coastline. Time 20, and we'll make the announcements. Are we on the CTAF? Yep, 126.7. Traffic, Streaky Bay. Bravo Sierra Victor, Cessna 172 at 1,500 feet. We are tracking inbound to Streaky Bay. Estimate circuit time 2.5. And circuit, runway 31. Traffic, Streaky Bay. It's runway 31. Yeah, we're pretty much coming in from the dead side, so that makes perfect sense to us. We'll just pop in dead side and join the full circuit from downwind. Hello Rossi, hope you're well. I believe it's close enough to sea level. Let's double check. Yeah, 69 feet. Giggity. We'll call it 0. Circuit height 1000. Still want to be on the 262 heading. A little bit on the bumpy side, but we should be okay. There's a big wind difference between Streaky Bay and Wuddina. Streaky Bay is heading north, kind of northwest winds, and over in Wuddina we're looking at southeast winds. So that's that massive thunderstorm right between us and Wuddina. So good times. Looking forward to more beautiful visibility like this. I believe that's us. Airfield, dead ahead. Streaky Bay traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, Cessna 172 is at 1,500 on the dead side of the field. We'll be joining from the crosswind, runway 31. Okay, brakes are released, undercarriage is fixed, mixture fully rich. Fuel pump is in. Fuel, seats and harnesses are secure. And there's the township of Streaky Bay in here. Streaky Bay traffic. Bravo Sierra Victor turning crosswind runway 31. Down we go. Yes, great Lord Doofus, that is about right. Very risky indeed. There's 1,000. Streaky Bay traffic. Bravo Sierra Victor is downwind runway 31. You'd think it was winter, but it's actually like middle of November. So we're about 2 to 3 weeks away from summer. And here we are in this rain. I haven't planned on heading to Sydney for Christmas, because last time I planned to head to Sydney for Christmas it didn't happen, so this year I was a bit cautious. Over. Traffic Streaky Bay, Bravo Sierra Victor is turning base runway 31. And some here on the Unicom, we're also on this frequency too. Turned in too early. Anyway, there's the flaps. Streaky Bay traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, final runway 31. 500. No traffic on. Bit of trim. And we'll start the backtrack. Streaky Bay traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor is turning to backtrack runway 31. Flaps coming up. No wind data. Rightio. Where's the field sock? Streaky Bay traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, Vpilot. This is a bit of a hilly field. Yeah, the brakes to come down that hill. Okay, we turn it around. How much fuel do we have? About 18 gallon per side. Looking good. Okay then. Current time is 34. By the time we get that there, it'll be about 40. Let's do this. Just need to get a bit more comfortable in the seat. Cool, we'll leave the taxi light in. Nav beacon. Not bad, we'll start the move out. Streaky Bay traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, Cessna 172, taxis, runway 31.
Streaky Bay traffic, Yankee Hotels, Romeo, taxi on red tree for
Yep, we'll leave the taxi light in.
Streaky Bay.
Here we go. Let's enter. Streaky Bay traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, entering runway 31, departure straight out. Lights are rolling. Mix is fully rich. Off we go. Claps are all up. Time is 36.
Streaky Bay traffic, Yankee Hotel Romeo, holding short runway 31. Traffic, Streaky Bay.
So it's funny hearing yourself in the background there. Okay, we track towards Eva Anchorage, which is just off that island that we can see on the map there.
Streaky Bay traffic, Yankee Hotel Romeo, entering runway 31
36
for a departure to the north. Traffic, Streaky Bay.
$80 knots for the climb. And we want a heading. And that heading should be 347. Pretty much there. I only need 1,500 at the moment, so we'll leave it there. Coming back. Eva Anchorage is in sight, straight ahead. Uh, 41. After that, 46. So just off the coastline of Eba Anchorage is a little island. It used to be called Eba Island, but these days they call it Kiffin Island, which I believe the name change there is driven by the indigenous. Best angle of climb speed is 65. That's angle of climb. Rate of climb is 73, sometimes 75. But on this particular flight it should have been about 73. But yeah, angle of climb would have been 65. It's a Cessna 172, they barely changed the speeds at all. We learned them fixed in the 172. Best angle of climb, and also your approach speed, 65 with full flaps. 70 knots with flaps up if you're on the approach, and 73 for your best rate of climb is technical, but we normally call it 75, just, you know, round it up. You could calculate it for the exact weight, but that might change it by 1 knot. I don't know who actually still calls it VX speed apart from, you know, aviation nerds at UNSW, or maybe RMIT might call it that. All your physics majors. Certainly not what I learned it. We just used to call it what it is, you know. Best angle of climb speed instead of VX. The heck is that? Hello, Sprinter. How you doing? Hi there, Syed. I'm playing on my PC. I do have a laptop now, but it's not going to run this. Also, I have 3 screens, so how will you make that work on a laptop? Laptops are just small PCs that are weak. Okay, back to 1,500 and we'll stay there. Trim that out. Okay, the next little town that we put in was Haslam at 46. Haslam has a large jetty, and it used to actually be a relatively largish port, mostly because the field at Streaky Bay was overflowing with produce, so they chucked in another jetty to load stuff coming from the next location, which I believe is Laura Bay. No, Smoky. So Smoky Bay was called Smoky Bay because when Bass and Flinders came through the area in the Tom Thumb, which is a boat that wasn't much bigger than the Cessna, in fact it's smaller than the Cessna. It's a 2-man boat with a sail. It's a lantine sail and a dog. Or was it a cat? I think it was a cat. Yeah, it was a cat. So anyway, Bass, Flinders, Matthew Flinders, I can't remember the name, Bass, came through here in a boat. Yeah, it's smaller than the Cessna. Probably just the front end of the Cessna. They were the first people to circumnavigate Australia. Anyway, they come up to here and they find all of these smoke bushfires, and they call it Smoky Bay. And they weren't bushfires, they were actually Aborigines with like cooking fires. Or back burning. So that's Smoky Bay up there, Streaky Bay behind us now. Streaky Bay is probably the largest town here between Wuddina and Cejuna. That's Palubi Beach. And we should have the Haslam Jetty up here somewhere. Well marked out by that crossroads. So that's Haslam there. Not much there, to be honest. Couple of houses. Total of 7 streets. And 4 down and 3 across. So anyway, that is Haslam right there. Can't quite see the jetty, but it would be there, going out into the water a little bit. And the reason they put the jetty there is it's quite deep somewhere near that point, so they can get quite large ships into that space. And load the produce. Don't know what produce they have out here, to be honest. Or they make it Smoky Bay. Smoky Bay has a population of 279. So we pass Haslam at the correct time. So I'll cross the next one at 54, and after that it'll be 59. And then into Cejuna at time 04. So Smoky Bay is the next major space. So on the other side of this little peninsula here, this kind of dark area is Acraman Creek. Acraman. Weather's improved a little. I think the worst of it was going into Streaky. push the speed a bit, and I'm pretty keen to get to Cejuna as fast as we can. That said, we want to be 110 knots. Yeah, it's all your first time. I'm hearing by the complete lack of any traffic on the radio that you've disappeared on us. Anyhow, Cejuna 126.7, bird hazards, what else? Runways 2911. Last time we checked, the wind is favouring runway 11, and there's probably nothing about any direction, so it'll all be left-hand traffic, which means you'll come from the dead side on the south of the field and loop around. Wait a second, on RPT apron. Cool, it's all about parking restrictions. So we want to be parking on the grass, essentially. Here's Ackerman Creek. Time 51. 3 or 4 minutes to Smoky Bay. So heading 250, we want to be a little bit further north than that. We need to go through that. That's not cool. So that's Smoky Bay. Straight ahead I can see the little water underneath there. So I'll skip through into that space. It would have been nice to go around that big massive cloud, but I think we'd have to go significantly out into the water for that. So instead of doing that, let's stay over land. So come up on Air Island, and I think it's Newit's Island. Back into the bumpy. I'm hearing the water hit the windscreen again. There's promise of dry over there. So the town of Smoky Bay is just on a little peninsula or a point. I think it's that one there. Time 54. And because we diverted around that cloud a little bit further. We're about a minute late, I'd say. Wait until we're actually a beam to see when that shows up. Sunshine on Sunday, that's good to hear. Okay, the time's currently 55. We are exactly 1 minute behind schedule because of that diversion, so I'm going to write that in. 55, next one will be 00, then 5 minutes past. Sounds good to me. And our heading from here should be to Laura Bay, heading at 306. Pretty close. There it is. That's Smoky Bay just there behind us. That little peninsula there, Smoky Bay. Next one's Laura Bay. So Laura Bay, we can actually see it already. It's this little bay here. And the township itself is probably that little light coloured area right next to it. Just in front of Laura Bay is Rose Bay Beach. And the Flinders Highway is just pretty close to there. We'll see a large intersection. It's almost a 5-way intersection that's a little bit offset. And that's Laura Bay itself. Not much there. There's the bay itself, and there's a little cluster of buildings, maybe 10 houses at most. It's more like 5 houses and a shop. There's the Flinders Highway. That's the Flinders Highway there, and this is that little crossroad there. So we're crossing here at the hour, and then Ceduna, 5 minutes flying from there. It's 10 miles. Another big downpour right here. Getting kicked around a bit in the turbulence. And there's Laura Bay, the bay itself. Rose Bay Beach. That's the road to Rose Bay Beach, just the northern end of it. Funky little road that goes around that hill. The hill's a bit flat, but yeah. You'd best be calling into Cessna. What's our heading? 298. Cessna traffic, Cessna Bravo Sierra Victor is 1,500. 10 miles from Cessna. We'll be joining a leg downwind runway 12. Estimated circuit time 05. Traffic Cessna. .298. QNH 1011. We'll just check this out again.
Automated Weather Information Service, Cessna Airport, time 0959 Zulu, wind 350 degrees magnetic at 5 knots, variable between 350 and 060 degrees magnetic, visibility 25 kilometers, present weather, light rain, cloud clear below 10,000 feet, temperature 17, dew point 14. QNH 1012 hectopascals.
Okay, so the wind is flopped all the way around. We've also got 1012. Come on, give me a single digit. There it is. So we're going to be on runway 29 actually. Near the crossover now. Stay on the dead side, and then we'll join a left-hand downwind, runway 29. Cessna traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor. Having heard the winds, will be now joining the dead side for runway 29. And still estimate circuit time 05. The wind's done a 180 in the last half hour. Yeah, that's flopping around quite a bit as well. .060. It's all over the place. It's the entire northern sector. Now, I'll still do runway 11. It's 060. It's flinging between 300 and 060. It's the entire north. 11 is slightly south, but also 060 is aligned with runway 11 pretty well. That's us. We're on the downwind, runway 11. Cessna traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor is 1,500 on a downwind, runway 11. Brakes are released. Undercarriage is fixed. Mixture is rich. Pump is on. Fuel is set to both. Seats and houses are secure. A lot of crosswind. We're getting pushed away from the runway by that wind. We're in the circuit. Time is 05. So due to traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, Cessna 172 is turning base, runway 01. So again, runway 11. I'd rather not. I haven't planned anything further up, so no. Also, we can go for 2 hours. Student traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor, turning final runway 11. Full flaps. There's 65. How far away is Nullarbor? No idea, I didn't look. So that's why we won't be going there today. Traffic to Juna, Bravo Sierra Victor, backtracking at runway 11. So due to traffic, Bravo Sierra Victor vacated all runways. Landing lights off. Take the strobe out as well. Great place to park a truck. Under the apron, looks like the terminal building isn't there. There's an actual proper terminal here at Cessna that wrecks fly in and out of in the Saab 340. Anyway, we're going to pop ourselves on the grass over here. Thousand RPM. Just going to turn it out a little bit. So the wheels are straight, so we can push it straight back when we get out. 1000 RPM. Don't need to keep anything on really. Avionics coming off. One hour 36 minutes of flying time. Lights off, masters off. And welcome to cold, kind of rather wet Cessna. Indeed, it'll be interesting to see what breaks in the sim tomorrow. I'm sure we'll sit here with it slowly loading over several hours. It's always good to get a flight in before the update rather than after it, and I think we'll probably take a little bit of time just to get settled in the new sim. That said, that was another leg of VFR around Australia. Hope you enjoyed, and we're kind of out of the Eyre Peninsula now. The next section of this journey takes us to the edge of the Great Australian Bight and the Nullarbor Plain before we head inland. Till then though, I have been Mr. Aviator. That was Toilet Inspector saying hi, and bye for now. Catch ya.